Hey guys, it's Melissa from The Little For That Kid. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different, and that's mainly because I lost half of my footage. Don't ask, I don't want to talk about it. It wasn't good. Anyway, today I'm going to do a little allergen-free cooking with you. We're going to make some condensed soups. A lot of recipes, a lot of really yummy recipes call for a can of like condensed cream of chicken or cream of mushroom or a can of French onion soup. And if you have any kind of severe allergies, you know that that is not an option for you to just grab a can of condensed soup and use it in a recipe. So today I am going to share with you how I make my own that are safe, and honestly they're healthier than the store-bought version. And if I did the math, they're probably cheaper than the store-bought version too. So anyway, I have lost a lot of my footage, but I still have a lot of it left too. So I'm going to show you how I make my two condensed soups. Okay, so I started with some onion. Half of this I'm using for this French onion, and the other half I'm using for dinner tonight. But anyway, I'm taking some of this beef bouillon and putting in the super hot water and stirring it on up. And then you are gonna see next that I'm headed over to the stove, and I'm adding half that onion that I chopped. It's a sweet onion. I'm adding half of that, about a tablespoon of olive oil. Y'all will learn that I do not measure anything. Well, very rarely. I eyeball things, which I know is not the best. And then I'm adding in that beef bouillon and hot water that I mixed up prior to this, and I'm now gonna add another, I'd say about a tablespoon or so, maybe a tiny bit more of molasses to this mixture, and then I'm gonna stir it on up, and I've got it on pretty high heat because I do want it to come to a boil and cook those onions down and get just a little bit sticky, I guess you would say. While that is cooking on up, I'm going to take some cold water out of the fridge and some cornstarch. I would say that was about 1/4 cup of water and about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And I'm going to add it into my now boiling onion mixture. And you can see it thickens it right on up because it's nice and hot. And then I'm going to go grab the salt and the pepper. And I'm going to add a little bit of each to taste. And then there you have it. It is my version of a can of condensed French onion soup without any allergens in it, and I'm just popping it in this glass container because I'm going to use it for tonight's dinner. Okay, moving on, I'm getting some chicken broth. You could use veggie broth, some butter. We use Earth Balance vegan buttery sticks, but you could use real butter if you're not allergic. I have some extra mushrooms. You can throw mushrooms in this if you want to make it a cream of mushroom instead of a cream of chicken. I'm using a Ripple milk, which is our safe milk, but you could use whatever milk is safe for you. I'm using some flour. You could also use gluten-free flour, and then we're gonna add a little salt and pepper. So this is what's going in our cream of soup. All right, so I'm back at the stove. First thing I'm doing is adding butter. Now I'm making 2 cans worth because I need it for 2 different dinners. So this is 6 tablespoons of butter that I'm putting in the pot for it to get good and melted, and I'm gonna make sort of a roux with the butter and the flour. So it's equal parts butter and flour. So once my butter gets melted, you're gonna see I'm gonna add in 6 tablespoons of flour and keep whisking frequently so that you don't get any clumps. And I apologize, y'all, now that we're halfway through this video, that my videoing, my cooking is like so bad. I normally am doing about 47 other things while I'm cooking, and so to just cook and film is weird. And obviously I didn't do a very good job of it. But anyway, so I apologize. But so this is essentially what we call down south in Cajun country as well, a roux. Lots of soups and stews and gumbos start with a roux, which is equal parts butter and flour. And then I'm adding 1 cup of chicken broth. You could also use veggie broth here. I'm adding it just a little bit at a time. until it gets all mixed in. Again, you want to whisk, whisk, whisk the whole time so you don't get any clumps, because clumps don't taste good. And then once I've added a cup of broth, I'm going to do the same thing with a cup of milk. And again, you can use whatever milk you want. You can use real milk if you're not allergic to milk. It tastes even better with real milk. But I'm using our Safe brand milk, which is a pea protein milk called Ripple. And so then once you have all of that mixed in, you can add whatever you want. You can actually add some chicken if you have some and you want to. You can add some chopped up mushrooms and call it cream of mushroom. And then you can add whatever spices you like. Generally I do a little garlic powder, a little onion powder, a little thyme, and some Italian seasoning. And then of course, oh, my oven's ready. And then of course I do some salt and pepper as well. Okay, and I'm gonna pour this in glass too because I'm not freezing it, but you can put this in freezer bags and freeze it as well. I've done that many times before and it works beautifully. And so here we have it. I have about 1 can worth of French onion condensed soup, and this is about 2 cans worth that I'll use in 2 recipes this week of a cream of chicken soup. And there you have it, guys. See you next time.